How can we as a society change business? Have you thought about it before? Can we only act as consumers buying or not buying certain products? Or as employers working or not working for a company? Or as investors? Some entrepreneurs say in media that they only do what they are expected to. Some are saying that they have the right to do as they do because it is not violating any existing law. What other channels do we have as a society to limit the activity which is still legal, at least in the sense of adherence to the law, in the sense comparable with fourth level of Kohlberg's moral development, but not ethical in the sense of an ideal social order? If you see that companies pollute the environment, engage in trade with companies which violate human rights, or export, for instance, weapons to poor countries already exhausted by long prevailing wars. One of the ways is the one chosen by individual activists. A great example here is Greta Thunberg, trying to move the attention of people towards some problems which, even if legal, are causing great danger for the environment. The popularity and recognition of her activity in the world is well known. It won her the first place in the Carnival in Viareggio 2020. Another way is the one of international lobby groups. They make it clear to public opinion that consumers are aware of the fact that there are some practices that must be prohibited. Such, for instance, is the case in the coronavirus pandemic that selling of wildlife has to be stopped, limited, or at least fought. Similarly, lobby make aware of the practice in India of 11-year-old girls being sold for so-called lump sum payments. Another lobby group could be the Greenpeace protest. They prevented the deliberate sinking of the oil platform Brankspa and insisted that it be dismantled and disposed of. So, due to the activity of international lobby groups, companies are becoming more responsible for their action, recognizing the ethical issues and making improvements. The impact has come not from the market, but from society. Another social driver is national advocates. They succeeded in changing the policy of Starbucks, which avoided paying taxes in UK on every cost, but within the legal framework. Such a policy of Starbucks was not considered as morally fair or just by the society, and eventually pressure led to change. Similarly, the local community may act to demand change. They may block a building investment if it does not respect ecological or social requirements. The local community has in many countries the legal opportunity to accept or not proposals of construction investment on the territory. The next social driver is the mainstream media. Its impact was experienced by the Nestle company, which was criticized for its non-ethical activities in developing countries because of its misuse of water or natural resources. Similarly, lately, mainstream media in Italy have discussed the problem of the misuse of the agricultural labor of immigrants. Immigrants have been paid a couple of euro per hour, deprived of breaks and access to water to drink, as well as being harassed because of their skin color. Nowadays, social media play more and more important role. they make firms aware that they are not acting ethically. So, for instance, Nissan was criticized by people, mainly women, who were not satisfied with car advertisements. The woman was treated as a sexual object. It was considered by the organizations which are active in social media that this is not ethical. Similarly, Audi was forced to excuse itself for the advertisement in which a small girl was posted with a banana in her hand close to the car. People sharing posts on their profiles may contribute to a greater awareness of the problems. However, the problem is exacerbated by the issue of fake news. Another social driver is the business and professional associations. Their impact is the creation of so-called professional codes of conduct. In these codes, they make people aware of the ethical problems which are correlated with their particular activity. There are ethical codes for students, professors, researchers, doctors. It is not for one particular company only, but generally relevant for professionals in different industries. These codes help us to understand what is expected from a particular profession. One very important social driver is the educational institution. In the universities, you find more and more courses in business ethics. In the last century, you could barely find any courses like this. My course in business ethics at the University of Applied Sciences in Munich was also the first one in its kind, Wirtschaftsethik 2010. Being aware of one's role and responsibility in changing the business world is also an important step towards change. The last social driver is the non-governmental organization, NGO. They make firms aware of unethical behavior. They ensure that companies work together with them. For instance, Lipton has been participating in the Rainforest Alliance and actively making an important step towards sustainable agriculture. However, some of these activities may actually hide the real problem, especially abroad. For instance, problems such as forced labor, limitation of the access to water, and other public resources or goods. In summary, the goal of social drivers as an entity is to make companies aware of moral failures. This activity is becoming increasingly important in conjunction with market forces. However, it can't replace so-called social partners such as trade unions representing the interests of the most vulnerable workers or effective laws of the state. What are your ideas and observations? Please share with me in your comments. Thank you very much for your attention. Can society change business? Have you thought about it before? Can we only act as consumers buying or not buying certain products? Or as employers working or not working for a company? Or as investors? Some entrepreneurs say in media that they only do what they are expected to. Some are saying that they have the right to do as they do, because it is not violating any existing law. What other channels do we have as a society to limit the activity which is still legal, at least in the sense of adherence to the law, in this sense comparable with the fourth level of Holberg's moral development, but not ethical in the sense of an ideal social order? For instance, if you see that companies pollute the environment, engage in trade without For instance, if you see that companies pollute the environment, engage in trade with companies which violate human rights, or export, for instance, weapons to poor countries already exhausted by long prevailing wars. Of the ways is the one chosen by individual activists. A great example here is Greta Thunberg trying to move the attention of people towards some problems which, even if legal, are causing great danger for the environment. The popularity and recognition of her activity in the world is well known. It won her the first place in the Carnival in Viareggio 2020. Another way is the one of international lobby groups. They make it clear to public opinion that consumers are aware of the fact that there are some practices that must be prohibited. Such, for instance, is the case in the coronavirus pandemic, that selling of wildlife has to be stopped, limited, or at least reformed. Similarly, lobby make aware of the practice in India of 11-year-old girls being sold for so-called lump sum payments. Another lobby group could be the Greenpeace protest. They prevented the deliberate sinking of the oil platform Grand Spa and insisted that it be dismantled and disposed of. Due to the activity of international lobby groups, companies are becoming more responsible for their actions, recognizing the ethical issues and making improvements. The impact has come not from the market, but from the society. Another social driver is national advocates. They succeeded in changing the policy of Starbucks, which avoided paying taxes in UK on every cost, but within the legal framework. Such a policy of Starbucks was not considered as moral fair or just by the society, and eventually pressure led to change. The local community may act to demand change. They may block a building investment if it does not respect ecological or social requirements. The local community has in many countries the legal opportunity to accept or not proposals of construction investments of the territory. The next social driver is the mainstream media. Its impact was experienced by the Nestle company, which was criticized for its not ethical activities in developing countries because of its misuse of water and natural resources. Similarly, lately mainstream media in Italy have discussed the problem of the misuse of the agricultural labor of immigrants. Immigrants have been paid a couple of euro per hour, deprived of breaks and access to water to drink, as well as being harassed because of their skin color.
Nowadays, social media play more and more important role. They make firms aware that they are not acting ethically.
So, for instance, Nissan was criticized by people, mainly women, who were not satisfied with car advertisements. The woman was treated as a sexual object. It was considered by the organizations which are active in social media that this is not ethical.
Another social driver is the business and professional associations. Their impact is the creation of so-called professional codes of conduct. In these codes, they make people aware of the ethical problems which are correlated with the particular activity. There are ethical codes for students, professors, researchers, doctors. It is not for one particular company only, but generally relevant for professions in different industries. These codes help us to understand what is expected from a particular profession. These codes help us to understand what is expected from a particular profession. The last social driver is the non-governmental organization, NGO. They make firms aware of unethical behavior. They ensure that companies work together with them. For instance, Lipton has been participating in the Rainforest Alliance and actually making an important step towards sustainable agriculture.
Some of these activities may actually hide the real problem, especially abroad. For instance, problems such as forced labor, limitation of the access to water, and other public resources or goods. The goal of social drivers as an entity is to make companies aware of moral failures. This activity is becoming increasingly important in conjunction with market forces. However, it can't replace so-called social partners such as trade unions representing the interests of the most vulnerable workers or effective laws of the state.
What are your ideas and observations? Please share with me in your comments. Thank you. Do you think that a company's scope is only business? Yes? No? What is your answer? In this movie, we will try to answer the question. However, I need you first to give your reflection and your ideas. Will you help me? Otherwise, you will only stick to the theory, and it is no way to change business in practice. For real change, we need full interaction. For real change, we need full interaction between you and me and the content of our course.